Have you ever eaten gluten in Italy or other parts of Europe and felt completely fine, but you react to it every time at home? Or you've been constipated for 4 days on vacation, even though that never happens to you normally? Or you were totally fine the whole trip, and then the last day, everything fell apart. Your gut responding to travel in very specific, very explainable ways. And once you understand what's happening, you can actually do something about it. I am Dr. Ina, integrative and functional medicine doctor of pharmacy with over 25 years of clinical experience. Today, I am breaking down exactly why your digestion changes when you travel and the specific steps I recommend to my own clients in my practice before, during, and after every trip. Why you tolerate gluten better in Europe. Let's start with one that confuses people the most. You're being off gluten for, let's say, 2 years. You're careful at home. Then you go to France, Italy, and eat croissants for a week, and nothing happens. What's going on? First, European wheat is genuinely different. Not a myth. European cultivators, including ancient grains, still commonly used. They have different gliadin protein profiles than American wheat currently, which has been bred specifically for high yield and strong gluten. The fractions that drive immune reactivity, particularly omega 5 gliadin, are present in lower concentrations in many European varieties. Second, fermentation, real traditional fermentation, the kind used in proper sourdough and many European breads, partially breaks down gluten proteins during that leavening process. That matters for digestion. Most American sourdough is not fermented the same way. It's a marketing term, not a process unless you make it at home. Third, and this is the one that people underestimate, your nervous system is different on vacation. On vacation, you're sleeping better. You're walking so much more. You're not checking in your work email at 11 p.m. Your vagus nerve tone is actually higher, and there is that direct research showing that lower stress levels reduce intestinal permeability. The gut brain axis is physiological pathway, not metaphor. The same food in a different nervous system state can produce a different immune response. Now, does this mean gluten is fine for you? No, it means your reactivity has a threshold, and your home environment may be constantly pushing you past it. That's important information, but it's data. It's not a green light. Constipation while you're traveling, and why it happens, and how to prevent it, which is the most important. This is the number one complaint I hear from clients after a trip, after travel. And almost every time it was preventable. Here's what's happening. Your colon runs on the rhythm, circadian rhythm. It needs consistent sleep, it needs consistent meal timing, adequate hydration, enough fluids, and regular movement to maintain that gut motility. Travel disrupts all of those at once. You're crossing time zones, you're sitting on the plane for 10 hours, you're eating at the weird times, you're drinking less water than you think you are. Airplane cabins are profoundly dehydrating. Eating less fiber because restaurants don't exactly serve prebiotic rich meals, probiotic rich meals, and many people suppress the urge to go when they're in transit or public restrooms because it's inconvenient. That suppression, repeated even a few times, is enough to dysregulate the gastrocolic reflex. Here's what I recommend for you. Number one, hydration. Start drinking more water, electrolyte water, the day before you fly, not even the day of, the day before. You're already behind if you wait. Number two, magnesium glycinate. We talked a lot about that. This is the supplement I most consistently recommend for travel. 300 to 400 milligrams at night. It supports motility gently, aids sleep, and does not cause cramping that other forms of magnesium sometimes can. Bring it in the carry-on. You could even take it on the flight. Number three, soluble fiber, like, for example, partially hydrolyzed girl gum, PHGG. It's a soluble prebiotic fiber that dissolves completely in water, has no taste, it doesn't cause gasiness, and feeds the bacteria that produce butyrate. The short chain fatty acid we also discussed before that fuels gut motility. It's easy to pack and effective. Number four, walk after meals. Even 20 minutes. This is not an option if you're prone to constipation while traveling. Peristalsis responds to movements, walking. Number five, respect that urge. When your body tells you it's time to go, don't wait for a better moment. The reflex gets weaker every time you override it. Your body listens. Loose stools at the end of the travel. The delayed response. Okay, this one is the one that catches people completely off guard. You've been fine for 5 days, for a week, then day 6 or the last day right before you're flying, and everything falls apart. And you feel like you have no idea what happened. It's usually not random. In most cases, it's one of three things. The first is delayed pathogen expression. Your gut has been managing a low-grade exposure from food, most likely. Sometimes in the water, food that wasn't fully cooked, for example, or contaminated produce. And your immune system, it was holding it at bay. It was protecting you. Then travel fatigue, poor sleep, or cumulative dietary stress habits, that balance is off now and it breaks through. Pathogens like Giardia, blastocystis, or Campylobacter can have the incubation period that's sitting in you for 3 to 7 days. You may have been exposed already on day 1 and not know it until day 5. The second is cumulative mucosal degradation. Different oils in unfamiliar spices, more alcohol on the trips, less sleep. None of those destroy your gut in one meal. But by day 5, the mucosal barrier is thinner than it was when you started. Your immune system is not not responding the same way. What your gut could handle on day one, it can't now handle anymore by the end of the trip. The third, and honestly the most benign, is rebound motility after constipation. Sometimes what looks like diarrhea is just your colon finally catching up days after not moving properly. It might not be a pathogen, it's just physics. So, what do you do? Activated charcoal is my quick fix. It's a quick fix recommendation for acute traveler's diarrhea or suspected food exposure, unless it's a pathogenic base. It binds toxins and bacterial byproducts in the gut lumen. Take it well away from foods and supplements, avoiding interactions, at least 2 hours, because it will bind everything, including your medications. 500 to 1000 milligrams as needed. Your stool will turn black. Don't be scared, that's normal. Next one is Saccharomyces boulardii. It's a probiotic. I want everyone watching this to have this in their travel kit. It has different brand names. It's a beneficial yeast that's not a bacterial probiotic, which means antibiotics don't kill it. It doesn't need refrigeration, and it has a strong clinical evidence for preventing and treating travelers' diarrhea. I recommend studying it 2 to 3 days before and leave and continue through your trip. 250 to 500 milligrams twice a day can be an option. Zinc carnosine is also great for mucosal barrier. Pepto-Bismol or bismuth is actually used also, has antimicrobial properties. Those are all options if you didn't pack other things with you to go. It's useful for short term, not a root cause solution, of course. And it works in a pinch. The most important thing most people skip is test your stool when you get back home. This is the part of the conversation that people don't know much about, and it might be the most important. If you had any GI symptoms during and after travel, loose stools, urgency, nausea, bloating, that wasn't there before your trip, you need to run a comprehensive PCR stool test within 1 to 2 weeks of getting home. That's important. If you had traveler's diarrhea, here's why timing matters. Many travel pathogens, bacterial or parasitic, particularly parasites like Giardia, Lamblia, or Cryptosporidium, for example, or Blastocystis hominis, are most detectable in the acute window, meaning right now. Your immune system can suppress them to subclinical levels within just a few weeks, so it won't show. Symptoms fade, you think you're recovered, but the organism is still there, quietly disrupting your microbiome, slowly increasing intestinal permeability, contributing to symptoms, fatigue, food sensitivities, bloating, mood changes that you will never connect back to that trip because it was months ago. I've seen this pattern many times over in my practice. A client returns from Asia or Mexico or Latin America or even European trips. They have a rough week, they seem to recover, and then they spend the next whole year wondering why they're suddenly developed new food sensitivities or can't tolerate things they used to eat. without a problem. The test I recommend is a GI map. It's a comprehensive PCR stool panel. It tests for bacteria, parasites, some viruses, fungi, and inflammatory markers simultaneously. It's the most actionable diagnostics tool available for post-travel gut assessment. Don't wait to see if symptoms persist. Run it while the window is open. And here is the bigger picture I want to leave you with. How your gut behaves during travel is actually one of the most honest readouts of how resilient your gut terrain is. If you're constipated on every trip, your motility is too dependent on narrow set of conditions you currently give it. If you pick up pathogens easily, your mucosal immune defense needs support. If you lose reactivity in Europe and gain it back the moment you're home, your baseline environment is working against you. Travel is like a diagnostic tool for you. Use it that way. If you want to know exactly where your gut terrain stands and what needs to be addressed at the root cause level, I walk through all of this in detail in my Digestive Reset program at digestivereset.com. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe and hit the bell. I publish new clinical content every week, and I don't waste your time. I'll see you in the next one. This was Dr. Ina with you at Digestive Reset and Melamed Institute. Till the next week.